Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of TJ Reviews. This will be a show where I review games, movies, or whatever I think would be interesting to hear my opinion on. For my first episode, I received an early copy of the game Lux Delux, which launches on Steam May 1st, from a member of the production team. I decided to use this free copy of the game to give you guys my personal take on it. So, without any further ado, here is my review of the Steam version of Lux Delux. Lux Delux is a computer reimagining of the board game Risk, sometimes called Risk clones. Games like this place you in the role of the supreme commander of an army whose goal is to defeat their rival commanders and control the entire map. The original Lux was developed in 2002 and has been receiving regular updates for over 10 years. This Steam release counts as a major milestone, giving them a legitimacy they haven't been able to achieve thus far. Having not been a huge fan of the original Risk, I went into the game without much optimism. Surprisingly enough, I actually enjoyed the 3+ hours I've spent in the game thus far. Now, with the fact that one game of Risk can last for twice that, it may sound like there's no way I could have really delved into the game itself, but that's one of Lux Deluxe's strong points. They've really done a lot with getting rid of the things that slow down a game of Risk, like having buttons to automatically keep attacking an area until you take it over, automating die rolls, and being able to move your entire stack of armies with one click. The average game I've played lasts anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes with 5 computer opponents, making it a great break-style game that you can fit in between study sessions or during a lunch break. Speaking of the computer opponents, the AI in this game is remarkably good. The game comes with 9 different AI settings that you can mix and match with your opponents. They're broken up into easy, medium, and hard difficulties. Each one actually plays differently on the map, giving the game an incredible amount of replay value just in the base game. One of the other features that really makes this game unique is the sheer amount of different maps you can play on. My first game was on the classic widescreen map, which is literally the traditional Risk map. It felt very familiar to me, and I learned it very quickly, but at the bottom of the screen after the game ended was a button that said Play Next Map, which I clicked on without thinking. This put me into a brand new game on a map of Europe, North Africa, and Asia during the reign of the Imperial Roman Empire. This game played very differently because you could no longer just take over Australia and turtle until you could take over the world. In fact, each of the 11 maps included in the base game are very different and really add fresh life into the game. The interface is fairly simplistic to use as well, giving you hints on how to play and unique button combos to utilize to make the game run faster or smoother. Having a very large range of customizability, Lux Delux lets you play the exact game you want to play. Now, even though the base game is fairly enjoyable to play, the thing that really makes this game outshine anything else you can find on the market right now is the modding community. The sheer number of new maps you can download is staggering, almost to the point of being able to never play the exact same map twice. You can also download new AIs to give yourself a new challenge in solo mode. The version I received came with the expansions American History Lux and Ancient Empires Lux, which add new maps and a slightly different interface while allowing you to play through game design around great battles in American history like the American Revolution, or play as historical empires like the Egyptian Empire, respectively. While not really adding any, quote, new features I could detect beyond aesthetics, the games were still a lot of fun to play. I only had enough time to play a little of the multiplayer mode, but from what I tried, it was fairly similar to the single-player experience, aside from the human aspect. The chat feature works well, and you can set a timer during multiplayer matches to prevent the dreaded hour-long turn. The game I played took that to a slight extreme, giving each player only 14 seconds for their entire turn. Needless to say, it was a bit overwhelming, but a lot of fun. Now, as much as I did enjoy the game, There were a few things I found less than ideal. First things first, this is a loud game. At the default volume, I had to turn down my speakers significantly for fear of upsetting the other members of the household I live in. The sound effects, while appropriate at first, get incredibly repetitive to the point where I just about turned them off because they really didn't improve the game at all. I also noticed quite a few visual glitches after ending a map and anytime the Steam overlay pops up. Certain buttons on the interface would disappear until you mouse over them, and the map wouldn't reset until you started a brand new game. They didn't completely prevent me from playing the game, but were very distracting to the point of sincerely turning me off of the game. The final aspect of the game I didn't enjoy is the lack of a tutorial. As much as the game does give you hints on button combos, etc., the main aspects of the game, like how troop deployment works or the card system they use to give you extra troops, is never explained in the game. They do have a button labeled Explanations under the More Options menu, but as of writing this review, it didn't work, and I was forced to manually find the files in the game directory. As much as trial and error can get you competent, these files are really essential to playing the game well, and the inability to find them easily is a major mark against this game. Now, all of these issues might just be issues with the pre-release version of the game I received, or could be fixed with a simple patch, but as of this review, they are issues that need to be fixed. So, after considering for a while if I want to include a ranking system in my reviews, I decided on a 3-rank system. Not recommended, recommended, and strongly recommended. So what about Lux Delux? I would recommend it. While it does have its flaws, overall I had fun with it, and I think the replayability alone is worth the price. As of writing this review, Steam doesn't list a price, but going to Silly Soft's website shows that they sell the non-Steam version there for $9.99, so I would assume it should be close to that price point. Check it out and let me know what you think of the game and my review of it in the comments below. Also, feel free to like and subscribe to let me know you like more of this type of stuff. Well, that's all for me today, and I'll see you at the next review. Bye-bye!